Welcome. We're on the red couch with Shari Hiller, creator of the very first show to air on HGTV, the popular Room by Room, along with Matt Fox. Shari and Matt hold the record for the longest running decorating show in TV history, 12 years and over 350 episodes. Having aired in over 90 million homes, they have taught literally millions their detailed process of step-by-step decorating, improving the lives and homes of many. On top of that, she's written 2 successful decorating books, a nationally syndicated newspaper column, and an interactive decorating website. Her latest project is the creation of their 3rd TV series called Around the House with Matt and Shari, which debuted in December 2010 on public television stations across the country. Shari, I'm so thrilled to have you on the red couch.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be here. You made me sound so good. I like that. Thank you.
Well, you are good. Now, how did you get started? Was it a long time ago? Was it more recent?
Well, do you mean as far as being interested in decorating
Yeah.
or the show? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, oh my gosh. As far as being interested in decorating, this story seems to grab a lot of attention because I think a lot of women have gone through this. When I was little, and I do mean little, I don't know, 1960s, early 60s, I think, Barbie came out.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember my mom telling me I would go into her room and say, "Do you think Santa's going to bring me a Barbie?" You know, I just had to have Barbie doll. Well, I got Barbie doll. I didn't care really at all about that doll. All I wanted to do was make furniture for this doll. It was unbelievable. All my friends are playing, you know, dressing, because dressing them was so much fun. There were so many clothes to choose from. But I remember taking a little Dairy Queen cup and turning it upside down, and I took a shoe box, cut it in half, went down to my dad's workbench and grabbed a screw and nut kind of thing where I made myself this little swivel chair for Barbie and sewed a little cushion, a little bit of wrapping paper on the inside. Kind of crazy, but that's where it all started. My mom said she knew from then on that design was in my blood.
That is so fun. That's so adorable. Now, that's how you started with decorating, and how did the show start?
Well, I actually then did follow that dream. I mean, I became an interior designer, went to school for design and everything, and then worked as a designer in a very contemporary design studio for about 5 or 6 years. After that, I moved to Sherwin-Williams, which everyone's familiar with, you know, paint strips and everything, and that was my job, deciding what colors go on what strip and naming the colors, which is really a fun thing to do.
Oh, that's cool.
And I started to miss the design aspect. I really enjoy, you know, putting colors together and creating spaces, and so that was missing from my life. And you know, I'd have lunch with my friends. You know, you sit down, talk about how you're feeling and what you might like to do, and we were noticing the fact that there wasn't anything on television about design. There was This Old House, which was very popular, of course, about more building and construction, and there was a gal, Lynette Jennings, who had a show where she showed, like right at first, maybe they were in a bathroom and they showed bathroom ideas, and then they showed how to pick colors. So it was a variety of different projects in one show. And as I watched it, I thought, you know, if people really want to learn how to decorate, which is a very difficult thing to do, by the way, you need to see it happen step by step. You need to see a before, you need to learn what it is that it takes to change it and how to do that, and then see an after. And the more times you see that, you know, you start understanding the system, and you could learn how to decorate. And so talking to my friends about it, they're like, you know, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Why don't you go back and talk to Sherwin-Williams? You know, to do something like this, you need money. So I thought, well, I'll go ask them if they'd be interested in sponsoring a show. And actually, they thought it was kind of a unique idea, having a paint company sponsor a television show teaching people how to use their product. You know, it worked. But at that time, there was no HGTV, which was where we, you know, ended up having our successful show. So we started in a local market. We were in Cleveland at the time, and did just this sort of cable access channel there, about 80,000 homes, I guess, and kind of cut our teeth on a show, and that's pretty much how it got started.
That's amazing. And it became the most popular show. You were on for 12 years. That's
Yes,
amazing.
that's a long time, isn't it? It didn't seem like it now looking back, though.
It didn't feel like 12 years?
No, no.
That's an incredibly long time to have a really successful running hit. I mean, what do you attribute that success to?
I think, you know, in fact, we called our first book Real Decorating for Real People. I think that was the key. We weren't doing things that were outrageously expensive, and we weren't doing, where some shows were doing, we'll decorate the whole room for $500. With my design background, I had a very hard time even considering that. I don't want to pay thousands of dollars to do it, but I want quality pieces that are going to last. If I'm going to invest, you know, I want something that will last. So I think because we were kind of that middle road, I think that helped.
Yeah, I remember hearing or reading that it's like you gave people permission to do things that they might not have otherwise had the courage to do.
You know, that the whole idea of that came about in that every time we would go into someone's home, I'd say, okay, and I would treat them like a client. We didn't come in like some of the television shows did and said, okay, you go to your neighbor's house, you know, we're going to switch and we'll just do something. I actually sat and talked to them. You know, how do you live? What are your favorite colors? How do you want this to feel? And people do know the answers to those questions. And many times they would say, no, you just do it. I'm like, no, you can do it. You just tell me what your ideas are. And the more they talked about it, it's like, yes, that's for you, that's good. And I can see how, you know, I might give them a few ideas here and there, but I think people instinctively know what makes them feel good if they just start talking it through. And so we started saying, you know, really, we're just giving them permission, you know, to do what they want. So that's kind of how that started.
Yeah, I think people do need that. I mean, I myself need permission sometimes. I feel like, am I brave enough to do this?
Right.
And if I see you do it on the show, I go, well, Shari did it, so maybe I can do it too.
That's right, she tried it.
Now, what was the project, or it was a little exercise that you had people do that I thought was so fun.
Yeah, I was about collecting things.
Yeah.
Well, there's two of them actually. One, when you're trying to find colors that make you feel good. I had this, it was a little wooden box. I don't know, my husband had it and gave it to me. And when I would find, you know, of course I'm in all the stores all the time, so I'd be walking through a store that might have yarns, and if I would see a yarn that, oh, the texture of that, the color of it, just, I want something made out of that, I'd grab it, cut a little piece out of it, put it in this box. And you can start collecting things that make you feel good, and you start to see a pattern of the colors that are right for you.
Right.
And then another concept that we use quite often is when someone isn't sure what they want. And actually, I may have told you the example about my kitchen. I was getting ready to redo my kitchen. I thought, well, I'm going to practice what I preach and actually give this a try. The idea is pull out magazines and flip through them. Don't think real hard about it, but if you see something you like, rip it out. Set it in a stack and make this pile. Well, I did that, and then start sorting through, and you will find there will be trends, basically. I was certain that I wanted a cherry kitchen, you know, very traditional. I kept pulling out, this was, oh, I don't know, 5 to 10 years ago, and yellow kitchens, and I don't mean lemon yellow, but something soft and kind of muted yellow was a very popular thing, and I was pulling these out. Well, I had quite a few of those in my stack, much more so than the cherry, and I thought, how interesting this is. This is really what I want, even though, you know, whatever was telling me to do cherry, just maybe tradition or something, and I would be much happier if I had done something else. So
it's more like an intuitive thing, or like a gut feel.
It is. I like that gut feel. Right. Let your heart tell you what you want in your home.
Stay tuned for part 2 of this interview on the Red Couch.